Let's get a little more reaction right now from Capitol Hill and NewsNation's Joe Khalil. Joe?
Yeah, well, look, this is a serious escalation, as you just heard from Russia, for the first time, threatening directly not just to hit a target within Ukraine, but to hit a NATO target. We're talking about that base that you all have been discussing in Poland. This is in the northern part of the country. And it's important to a base where offensive weapons are kept. This is purely a defensive base. It was largely brought up by the United States, but again, a NATO base with missile defense capabilities in the case that Russia or, frankly, China or someone else might try to attack a NATO nation. This would be one of the first lines of defense there. And obviously, this isn't happening in a bubble, Adrian. This comes just a day after Vladimir Putin went on TV and announced that new weapon that he says they fired off, this new ballistic missile that has the capability to carry a nuclear weapon on it. Now, there was no nuclear weapon in that attack, but still, the threat is there. The fact that he is now suggesting this is concerning and is an escalation. And it comes as the United States and the UK have now greenlit the Ukrainian ability to launch American and British-made weapons into Russia. So across the board, what you're seeing is concern that this could potentially be an escalation of the conflict more generally. But when the United States hears Vladimir Putin make these kinds of threats, obviously they take it seriously.
Joe, what are we hearing from American officials in response to these threats from Moscow?
Yeah, so interestingly, we reached out to several senators, several lawmakers, people who were in the defense sphere. We're talking about the Armed Services Committees, Foreign Affairs, Foreign Relations Committees. We've not gotten responses directly from them yet on the threats to the NATO base in Poland, which is a bit surprising to me, at least not yet. But on the other threat, on Russia sending this new weapon, as they say, we did hear the White House commenting on it yesterday. This is Karine Jean-Pierre from the podium.
The escalation at every turn, at every step, is coming from Russia. They're the ones who are escalating this. They're the ones who started this war. It is because of their aggression into a sovereign territory, Ukraine. And this war can end today. You hear say this over and over again. It can, if Russia would stop the war and stop what they're doing with their aggression.
Adrian, what I found interesting from my perch here on Capitol Hill is Democrats generally are united in supporting Ukraine. Republicans are more split. You've got a faction party that says we've spent too much money on Ukraine. You've got another faction that is very pro-Ukraine, and that faction of the party, led in part by Mitch McConnell, has been criticizing the Biden administration for not acting quickly enough. And what he has said is that when we continue to fear Russian escalation, what we are missing is that Russia continues to escalate anyway. So just an interesting perspective, I think, from Mitch McConnell and others who agree with his view on this issue.
All right, Joe Khalil, thank you so much for reporting live for us there from the Hill. Thanks for watching. Go to joinnn.com to find News Nation on your screen. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of News Nation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.